I am your host, Fat Dag, and you're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Twitter at wiseadvice. Send me your comments, your questions, and your celebrations to be included as part of the show. But before we dive in, let's hear from you.
When you're out of points, stop eating points.
I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there, checking in. It's on the accountability side of things here. Tracking well today, first day of vacation, first full day, back into a routine, even though I'm on vacation. Dig into the weeklies, dug in for 6, went 40 for 34, got the blue dot. Blue dot's what matters. I'm here focused. I'm staying on my blue dots. I was doing really good on the tracking until we busted out birthday cake for my mom. You know, it's 70th birthday. You have to have a piece of that birthday cake. That's what the weeklies are for. That's when I dug in. And we had a happy birthday. I mean, how can you not have birthday cake for your 70-year-old mother, right? So happy birthday, Mom. Those weeklies were for you. Glad to be here. Good seeing you again. Man, I tell you, I had a great day on the accountability side, too. Spent the day at the pool, and I put it on Connect. It was the first day I've been to the pool in that capacity for about 20 years. Sure, I've been to the pool, but today was absolutely different. I felt completely different standing there, swimming in the pool, taking the shirt off for the first time in a public setting, and not at all having a concern about what I thought everyone else was thinking. It never entered my mind today, and felt really good, and that's why we do this. Down 91 pounds, it feels significantly different. What's really cool is whatever your goals are, you can do them too. It's just focus, it's just discipline, it's just constant effort, and that's why we do this daily. We talk about daily to get your mind in the game, because as we know, much of what we do really hinges upon having our head in the game. So I want to just walk through with you to make sure that we're in the right path. And the first things first, Gloria out of Southport, North Carolina writes in, and she is doing fantastic. Down 1.8 today at a meeting, total of 20 pounds since January 26th. Now, folks, you don't lose 20 pounds by accident. We've had this conversation. 20 pounds is focus, it's determination, it's concerted effort to make sure you hit your goals. And I'll tell you, when I read her email, what I could read all through the lines was that what Gloria's hidden goal. Gloria will absolutely get to her goal. For this exact week, she had a very challenging week, a week that many of us would give up on. But listen to this. 7 days in a row she tracked. She did 30 minutes of exercise 7 days in a row. She got 12,000 steps. She worked very long days, not getting back to her room at a conference, not getting back to her room till about 10 o'clock at night, but still stayed committed to getting her job done. She tracked all week. She got her blue dots and she got her activity in. Times when it would have been a lot easier to just say, you know what, it's been a long day, I'm done. Gloria didn't do that. So Gloria, great job. I love the fact that you said you haven't set a goal weight yet. You know, and that's exactly it. Work the plan. You'll know when you get there. You'll know when you're confident to say, you know what, I no longer want to lose weight. So Gloria, you're well on your way, and congrats on that. Thanks for the email. Folks, if you want to write in, it's fatdag.com. Click on the word podcast. It'll bring you to a screen. You can fill it out. Send me your celebrations, your comments. We'll include them as part of the show, just like Grace did. Grace is down 10 pounds as well. Grace credits her meal planning. She shops with a list. She brings food in case of an emergency, high in protein, always has them on hand. And what I thought was really cool about Grace's email, and this is absolutely why she's down 10 pounds, she pre-tracks the day ahead. In the evening, she looks to see what the day will look like, what's the week will look like. She puts them in the tracker ahead of time, and she adjusts. And she adjusts throughout the course of the day, but she's setting a mental plan in her head as to what the day is going to look like. That's what it takes to win. Grace, great job. 10 pounds, again, it's effort, it's focus, it's discipline. You're doing that. To get to your goal, it's just doing that again and again and again, or whatever it takes to get to your goal. Grace, I'm real proud of you for taking photos. We've talked about the importance of taking before photos as you go through this process. None of us like them. That's half the reason we end up coming into Weight Watchers in the first place, is that we're not happy with our body image, what we look like, what we feel like. But Grace, I'm telling you, the fact that you took those photos, that tells me that you're engaged. You never want to look like that again. You never want to go there. And so you're setting yourself up for success. Because when you get down another 10 pounds, another 15 pounds, another 20 pounds, whatever it is, when you look back at those photos, you will absolutely see a difference. It's a difference that you can't see without looking at photos a lot of times. So that's important. But the fact that you took them today, that tells me that you're committed. It tells me that you're committed. And the fact that you're meal planning, you're shopping with a list, you're bringing your food, and you're down 10 pounds demonstrates that. So Grace, great job on that. I'm real proud of you. I want to shift into a topic that I want to talk about. It's the importance of our habits and our routines. Now, I told you this is a lot of what we do is we have to root out the bad habits that we have in our head. Much of the way we got to where we got to is because somewhere along the way we developed some unhealthy habits, some bad habits, all related around food, turned into some food addiction, and those habits control us. And breaking that habit is so difficult. And here's why. If you can't just break a habit and just say, I'm done easily. The easiest way to break a habit is to replace it with a new habit. And especially when we're on this journey, if you find a new habit, if you can find a new way to do something different, that's where you find the success. Now, I noticed this real quickly on my drive down on vacation here is I had my habits down. Much of my old habits are gone. I've replaced them, and that got me to my goal weight. But every single day, I find some things of some of my old habits continue to pop in. The best example, again, we're driving down here. We stop at a gas station. The old habit says go in and get what you need. Now, I've done real good to and from work. To and from work, I know those habits. I built those in. And so if I stop at a gas station to and from work, the habit there is to grab the healthy snack, to grab the banana. My habit on a long road trip, however, those were bad habits. And I noticed them popping themselves in, and so it did have control over me a couple days ago, but I owned it. I took care of it. I recognize it now. And on the drive back home, I understand now what to look out for. I understand how to be prepared because I analyzed and I tracked and I looked back at what the day looked like and what it felt like, and it's not what I want to do. It's not where I want to be. So I figured out that those bad habits need to go. I will replace them with new habits. I'll spend the next 3 or 4 days developing a plan for the drive back home so that I don't get caught up in this same mess. What habits are you creating? What habits do you need to change? I'm telling you, you can do it. You absolutely know you can do this. I've told you this before. We've talked about it a million times. What we do in this journey is so habit-driven. We have to recognize them. We have to want it. We have to stay focused. If you plug in daily and you're always thinking about what does the future look like, what does the next step look like, you're going to have success. So that's the reason we do this. That's the reason I ask you to check in daily, see what's going on. And one of the really cool things is I love it when you share. When you go to fatdag.com, click on the email, send me your stories, because that's what keeps me accountable and that's what keeps me going as well. I do this show mostly for you, but a lot of it is for me as well. I need that accountability. I recognize that I will need that accountability for the rest of my life. And the things that I've done to this point were keeping me accountable, but I'm just continuing to find new ways. So I build that safety net beneath me so that I will be at Lifetime for the rest of my life, which is why they call it Lifetime, right? So last but not least, Elizabeth writes in with a beautiful story of her family. Elizabeth is doing fantastic on the plan. Her head's in the game as well. She's committed. She knows what she's got going on. She's an Air Force brat, which I thought was really kind of cool. Hits my story home. And she is a goal-oriented person. I love reading her email. Very long email, very great email. I enjoyed reading every single piece of it. But what was really interesting is that she says exactly what I just talked about. In her other goals that she set in her life, she has a daily way to stay focused and mindful. And so this podcast and her being here is that next piece to keep her accountable and keeping her mind in the game for this part of her journey. Now, I'm going to share something that's really interesting is that both of her parents were Air Force. They met in ROTC, which is absolutely very cool. But they struggled just like I did with the weight issue. Now, I tell you, there's an ugly side. The men and women who serve our nation, absolutely hats off to them. Love every single one of them. We would not be a free nation without them. But there's an ugly side to the military, an ugly side that's very often underreported. And I say this in no disrespect, but the weight issue is hurting a lot of our military folks, or a handful anyways, right? So if you're in the military, people who are in the military are a cross-reference and a cross-section of the United States. So if it exists in the real world, it exists in the military. We know that weight issue in the real world and outside of the military is very prevalent in our society. So it's foolish for us to assume that it doesn't exist also in the military. So she writes in and tells me the stories of her struggle of her parents, and it mimics the struggle that I had in the military. It saddens me to read it. And we lose every single day. We lose some great airmen and some great soldiers that just struggle with weight and have nowhere to turn. So I'm glad that I was able to do it. I'm glad that you came along as my wingman to teach me what I needed to do to win. And so that's why I want to give this back to you, is because without the Connect community, I don't know where I would be. The Connect community absolutely saved my life, saved my career. And so I devote my time now to give back to you, because what I know more than anything, and I didn't know this in the beginning, but what I know now is the goals we set for us when it comes to fitness, when it comes to weight loss, we absolutely have the ability to do them. We have to tap into the why, we have to tap into the focus, we have to stay disciplined and motivated. But we absolutely can get it done, and we need a wingman. I'm your wingman to walk this journey with you. I didn't do anything spectacular, I just stayed focused. And that's what I'm asking you to do, and that's what I'm here to hold your hand to make sure we get it done. So that's it, folks. It's just a matter of wanting it. Write down your why, look into your why, find out why you're doing this, and do it. You have the ability. You have the team. You have the support. Let's get it done. That's going to do it for this time. Remember, hey, losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You've got to remain disciplined. You've got to remain focused. So set your sights on your goals and go after it. I wish you good focus.